Chapter 2 A Strange Problem. As Joey disentangled himself, he heard a deep voice calling, "Spies! Ho there, Polo! Spies! Help!" Joey staggered to his feet, peeling off a long tendril of bush which had stuck to his clothes, and was stooping to help Clapper when he was lifted and swung bodily to one side. As he stumbled and fell again into one of the bushes, Joey saw the back view of a man hauling Clapper from the prostrate figure of the first man with whom they had collided. "Got them!" the second man cried, holding the struggling Clapper by the scruff of his neck. "Let go!" Clapper yelled. "Let me go or I'll—" Ouch! The man let Clapper go, right on top of a thorn bush. While Clapper yelled and writhed to free himself from the painful thorns, Joey clambered to his feet and ran to help his friend. But by the time Clapper was free, the two men were standing close, each grasping the boys in a firm grip. One man was small and elderly, with tufty iron-gray hair and neatly trimmed beard. The other was young, broad-shouldered, with a sunburned face and dark hair. "Stop struggling, boy," said the older man, who, despite his gray hair, possessed a remarkably strong grip on Joey's arm, "or it'll be the worse for you," the young man added threateningly, holding the squirming Clapper. Both men hustled the boys into the clearing. "Ow!" the older man cried out suddenly as Joey kicked him on the ankle and broke away to rush to Clapper's aid. The young man warded off Joey's attack, then began to laugh as he released Clapper, who promptly butted him in the tummy. "Oof!" The young man folded to the ground. But he wasn't much hurt because he grinned up at Clapper and raised his hands in mock surrender. "Enough!" he cried. "You're not the people we thought you were. Hold off, Polo. I ought to bop you on the nose." Clapper shook his fist at the older man. "You dropped me in a thorn bush." The man called Polo laughed and rubbed his hands gleefully. "Spirit," he declared. "That's what I like to see. Spirit." He tapped a finger on his nose. "Come on, then. Bop me." "Ah, you're too old. And you're scared." "Who is?" Clapper demanded. "You are. A silly, scared popinjay. That's you." "Don't call me names." "I just have." Polo laughed again. "Go on, bop me. See how old I am. You're a scared little popinjay." "You asked for it." Clapper leapt forward and swung his fist. The next second he was flying through the air. The young man caught him neatly before Clapper landed. "That's some trick," Joey exclaimed, then became indignant. "Hey, what's the idea of pushing us around? And who do you think you're calling spies?" What happened?" said Clapper. "Suddenly I grew wings. Flew I did, right through the flippin' air." He jumped to his feet and advanced towards Polo. "Do that again, I dare you." "With pleasure," the bearded man agreed. "Attack me again." Clapper obliged by rushing in with fists whirling. 3 seconds later he was again flying through the air, to be caught deftly by the young man. "By golly, he did too." Clapper looked at the bearded man, his gaze respectful. "I thought at first it was an accident." "Nothing he does is ever an accident," said the young man, depositing Clapper on the ground. "I give you our apologies," he said to Joey. "I thought you were the sons of some people called Orsini, but now I see that you're not. I'm Carteret Mainwaring." Clapper goggled at him. "You're not," he said. "No one ever had a name like that." The young man sighed and introduced his companion. "He's Polonius Sefton. Now, tell me no one has a name like that either." "Not many people," said Joey. "Told ya!" Polonius Sefton chortled and hopped delightedly from one foot to the other. "Told you it was a silly name, Carteret Mainwaring." He twinkled merry eyes at Clapper. "You're right, of course. Perfectly right. What's your name?" "Clapper." "That's a silly name, too. No one ever had a name like that." "It's a nickname." Clapper glanced up at the young man. "Did you make that up?" "Yes. Why? Is that your business?" Clapper shrugged. "Sorry." "No, it's me who should be sorry. That was rude. My real name is Terence Joseph Matthews. Call me Terry. I'm Joey, and I'm still waiting to hear why you thought we were spies." "I've told you. Because you thought we were the sons of someone called Orsini." "That's right," said Terry. "You're the same bloke," Clapper interrupted with a yell. "I recognize the clothes and the hair, even though I couldn't see your face. It's him, Joey. It's him." "Who?" Joey asked. The bloke who was roped to that tree. Terry laughed. Oh, that, yes, I was roped to that tree. Didn't see you, though. You couldn't. You were blindfolded. Did you see him go? Polonius Sefton asked eagerly. When Clapper hesitated, Joey said quickly, Clapper ran to tell me. When we got back, he was gone. That's a pity, said Polonius Sefton. He was slow. Very, very slow. But he disappeared. Joey pointed accusingly at the bearded man. And so did you, Mr. Sefton. I saw you with my own eyes. Ha! Terry exclaimed mockingly. Call me Polo, said the bearded man. Saw me? If I disappeared, how could you see me? I saw you before you disappeared. Joey pointed to the wooden frame. You were hanging in there by your head and wrists, then there was a puff of smoke, and you disappeared. But you didn't see me disappear. Joey grinned. How could I if you disappeared? Polo cackled with laughter. That's good. Very, very good. He beamed at Terry. You see? And I didn't even know I had an audience. Terry looked glum. You win, Polo. I was going to say I'd seen you, but when I got here, you'd gone. Then Clapper ran into me. Joey scratched his head in a puzzled manner. Clapper stared open-mouthed, his eyes holding a bewildered expression. Are you both quite crackers? Clapper asked politely. That's a rude way of saying we don't understand, Joey added. I'm the great Polonius Sefton, said the bearded man. He's a magician, Terry explained. He's traveled all over the world with an act of magic called the Great Polonius Sefton. It's just his stage name. Cool, a real magician. Clapper gazed admiringly at Polo. And that was some of your magic? Polo bowed gracefully. It was indeed. Is Terry in the act too? Joey asked. No, Terry almost shouted. Nor likely to be. Patience, patience, said Polo. He beamed at the boys. I was about to make some tea. Will you join us? He reached across to Clapper's ear with an empty hand, then withdrew it at once, holding 5 playing cards. Dear me, what strange things you keep in your head, Clapper. Clapper rubbed his ear. Hey, that's a smashing trick. Do it again. With pleasure. Again, the hand flicked out empty. Again, it withdrew, holding 5 cards. Oh, stop showing off, Polo, said Terry. Let's make some tea. As you wish, dear boy. Polo skipped to the tent, flung open the flap, and pulled out a small trolley on which stood a portable stove, a kettle, teapot, and cups. He lighted the stove, placed the kettle on it, and with the other hand reached out and took a fistful of artificial flowers from the front of Joey's shirt. Pretty, aren't they? He observed, then made a flash of movement with both hands, and the flowers became a china jug. He passed the jug to Terry. The milk is in the cooler in the back of the car. Fill the jug, will you, laddie? All right. Terry took the jug and stomped away, disappearing among the trees. Nice day, said Polo. Pretty bird up there. He pointed with an empty hand. When Clapper and Joey looked again, they saw his hand held an egg. New laid, said Polo. Would you like it for your tea? No? He reached over, tapped Clapper on the head with the egg, made 2 quick passes with his hand, and the egg vanished. Where is it? Clapper asked. I was watching you all the time. Where is it? Look in your pocket. Clapper dug one hand into his pocket. Ugh! He grimaced. It is, too. Joey roared with laughter. You busted. Pity, said Polo sadly. It was a nice fresh egg, too. Here's a spoon. Scoop it up before Terry comes back. Is he your son? Joey asked. Could be. Don't you know? Said Clapper in a startled voice. Not yet. Joey and Clapper exchanged meaningful glances. Clapper tapped his head with one finger. I saw that, said Polo. Got an eye behind my left ear. Saw what? Clapper winked at Joey from behind Polo's back. Think I've got a nut loose up there, don't you? Polo tapped his own head. His hand came away with a pen in it. He held up the pen, apparently surprised. Now, how did I get that in my hair? Joey patted his top pocket where his own pens were clipped and exclaimed, It's mine! How did you get it? Yours? Polo asked innocently. Well, now, fancy that. Here, take it. Don't be so careless with your property. You're tricky, said Clapper. Real tricky you are. Polo nodded slowly. So they tell me. You haven't got an eye behind your left ear either, Clapper added. No? I'll show you I have. You made a sign to Joey a few moments ago. Do it again. Don't tell me when. I'll close my eyes so that I can't see Joey's face, in case his expression gives it away. Right? They sat silently, then Clapper slowly raised his left arm and tapped his head with one finger. You raised your left hand and tapped your head with a finger, said Polo, but you're wrong. I haven't got a nut loose. It means I think you're crackers, Clapper explained, and I still say you couldn't see me. I'm not crackers and didn't say I could see you. I said I had an eye behind my left ear. It's a trick, said Joey. Tell us how it's done. I can see with my ears, said Polo. It's not a trick. Not really, although it's very useful. A long time ago I had an accident, fell off high wire in a circus and hit my head. I went blind for about 2 years, so I learned to hear things more strongly, like blind people do. Then a wonderful doctor operated on my eyes and my sight came back, but I never lost the habit of seeing by ear. You're sitting to the left behind me, Clapper. I heard your arm raise up because your sleeve rustled. But you said my left arm. Wasn't it your left arm? Yes, but how could you tell? Because if you'd lifted up your right arm, the sound would have been closer and louder. I even heard your finger tap against your head. Polo opened his eyes, turned his head, and grinned at Clapper. No tricks, you see, laddie. I apologize for suggesting your crackers, said Clapper seriously. You're clever and brave, too. Brave? Polo laughed softly. Why brave? Because you learned to use your ears more after you lost the sight of your eyes. I think that's brave. No, not brave, said Polo gently. Just necessary. You lose an arm, so you learn to do everything with only one. You lose a leg, and you walk with the aid of a bit of wood. When you've got to do things, you do them. That's all there is to it. So, you don't know if Terry's your son? Said Joey, still puzzled by Polo's earlier statement. Whose son are you? Polo asked. Smitty's. I'm Joey Smith, but everyone calls my father Smitty. You're Londoners. What are you doing down here in the country? We're on a visit to Clapper's aunt. On holiday? Yes. Do you live here? Polo waved one hand airily. I live everywhere and anywhere. We have a caravan. Well, it's like a small bus. One of those fitted with bunks and cupboards? That's right. Very nice, too. Terry gets bored with it. I love it. Been roaming all my life. Born and raised in a circus. My folks were circus people. Put me down anywhere and I'm happy. People don't like it, you know. You talk a lot about being free and roaming, but they forget it takes training. Heaps of training before they get used to wandering. Well, the kettle will be soon boiling. Where's that Terry got to? Is your car parked a long way off? Clapper asked. Not very far, Polo chuckled. He's writing again. That's what he's doing. Writing? Said Joey. Is he an author? He ought to be. Sneaks off to write every time he thinks I won't miss him. Poor laddie. I give up, said Clapper. You talk like a riddle book. You don't understand the things I say? Polo asked. Clapper shrugged. Not very well, but I expect Joey does. He's good at understanding things. You feel very strange, Clapper? You don't like the woods. Then you see Terry tied to a tree, then poof, he's gone. Then you see me, and poof, I'm gone. All this is very upsetting for you. Well, Clapper began hesitantly. I like to understand things, you see, Polo, and when I can't understand them, I get sort of bothered. He doesn't really, said Joey. Not with ordinary things. Clapper's got a lot of sense. As a matter of fact, I think we've interrupted something special, and you're being very polite about it, but we haven't any right to be so curious. Well spoken, laddie. No, you haven't any right to be curious. It's I who should be curious about you. After all, you're trespassing, you know. Trespassing? Clapper queried. That means wandering on private property without permission, doesn't it? It does. But this wood isn't private, said Joey. All the land around here belongs to the National Trust. Clapper's aunt told us so, And she ought to know. She's lived here for years. A lot of people make that mistake, said Polo. This land belongs to a certain duke, not to the National Trust. The trust boundary stops short of the wood. Well, we're sorry, said Joey. We didn't know that. You're not the duke, are you? Clapper asked. No, but I've written permission to camp in this wood, and now that you're my guests, so you're no longer trespassers. Thanks. Joey looked squarely at Polo. You're practicing special magic tricks, aren't you? He asked. And you need somewhere very quiet and secret. I can see you're a very bright young man, so I'll trust you with a little secret. Polo beamed at both boys. And I think you could help me. You see, laddies, we have a problem. We're pretty good at problems, said Clapper. Is it magic? Partly. Yes, I think I could say partly. I have a granddaughter. A lovely girl. Oh yes, indeed, a really lovely girl. Her name's Rosalie. We call her Rosa. Poor Terry is madly in love with her. And keeps writing her letters? Joey exclaimed. Exactly, Polo nodded. Well, Clapper urged, so Terry's gaga over Rosa. Doesn't she love him? Oh yes, I think so, but Rosa won't marry Terry until he has become a success as a magician. I'm trying to help him, but he's slow. Oh, so very slow. And very shy, too. Polo was silent for a moment. I hear Terry coming back, so, quickly now, will you help me? Joey and Clapper exchanged quick glances. Both felt excited by Polo's request. What can we lose? Said Clapper. You'll help, said Joey. Good, good. Polo rubbed his hands briskly and a white silk handkerchief grew from between them. End of chapter 2.